Hello, 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 everybody. My name is Jackson Black, and today my guest is Mr. Personality, Kelly Clark. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Doing good, doing good. We had a little time zone error. I googled and I was like, oh, I guess I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good.
So let's just jump right into it, man. What made you fall in love with this business?
So when I was about five, I watched Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Ric Flair in a G-Town Rumble, and from there I was like, this is instantly. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and that's just how it went from there.
That's awesome. So let's go. So who trained you up in the business?
So I didn't get trained by like no one really well known. I got trained by a bunch of local indie guys, and from there I just started going to seminars. I started learning as much as I can, and just kept going from there.
It's
But my
good.
main trainer was a Cowboy Love.
I don't know. Did you? Maybe it cut through.
My head trainer, he was a Cowboy Buddy Love.
Okay, okay. So how's it? Have you wrestled out of state often?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mostly I okay. So I started. I got trained in Alabama. I started wrestling in Alabama. I had to get licensed and all that to train, and I was actually the youngest licensed wrestler in Alabama. And then I live in Florida, so I started getting known in Florida, getting my name known there. And from there, I went to Georgia, and then to Mississippi, Tennessee. So I wrestled in a few different states, but yeah, pretty often. Most of the time, I wrestle in either Georgia or Florida, though.
Okay. So you be putting the miles on the car,
Oh yeah, oh, yeah. Putting miles on it, like for sure.
dude. I didn't realize how much it would be like that. It's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah. I know some people. I know a lot of people. They'll rather be flown out than drive, and they'll take less pay for it.
But man, I guess if you're going far, far, like if you're going across the state, I would definitely do that. But yeah, I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. So let's go. Who influenced your in-ring style?
So, like known wise, it would be Ric Flair, Kurt Hennig, Shawn Michaels, Gorgeous George, and locally, it's I used to go to this one local show that was like 20 minutes away, XWX, and there used to be a guy named Cali Man. He still wrestles, and I based everything I do on his gimmick. The style, moves, everything is exact replica of him.
Did a Ric Flair.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
I
pretty
wish they
much.
I wish they would have had the Ric Flair versus the Nature Boy what was his name?
Rogers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
fight
think
for the gimmick.
yeah, that would have been cool for the gimmick. That would have been cool. I think they did wrestle a couple times. I think I think Ric Flair. It was funny because I think Ric Flair told Buddy Rogers that he was too old to be wrestling, and Buddy Rogers was like in his 50s at the time. And Ric Flair, now that backfired on him pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, here's a funny one. This is a good one. Because you brought up Ricky the Dragon. Uh, I don't know if I should say this. Maybe I'll say it. Maybe I'll say it after because maybe it caused a little heat. But it's good. It's good. Okay, so let's jump into who's been your toughest opponent so far in your career, you think?
Toughest opponent, Quadzilla T Gaines. Right now, it's like a back and forth kind of thing, but she's got more wins over me, so I would say Quadzilla T Gaines.
I'm glad that you do equal rights for equal lefts. I had to super kick a chick a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
It happens. It happens. Oh man, so we had a matchup at EPW. That was a thing. Man, so right after you left, my whole night was cursed. Just
Oh
like
yeah.
to finish that. Oh yeah. So we get in there for the third of the shows, and I go for an up and over, and the guy never comes.
Under it goes under.
I think he tore his calf.
Oh God. Go
Yeah.
like it didn't go under, or he did go
He
under
was
and
no, he was just never arrived. Just
oh.
never he just never arrived. Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. So I've had a few I don't know if you've been in a minute. Uh, man, have you ever had a ref just botch everything up?
A ref botch everything up. I guess kind of. There was one situation where like the ref forgot like a certain spot, and I was like, we just looked at him like, "What are you doing?" kind of thing, because it's like it was an important thing because I like using the refs a lot, so I would like push the ref, let the ref push me, I'll bump with it, kind of thing. So there's been like once where a ref did kind of mess up, but other than that, not really.
Lucky, lucky,
Why you
lucky,
got?
lucky. Oh yeah, I probably got. I've only been in it like a year and a half, and I got at least four that I can think of off the top of my head.
Oh
One
man.
was, oh yeah, I got posted one time, and we were on the outside, and I was at like a 5 count because we were fighting around. So he went to 10, and he's like, "This match is a double count out." And then
That's great.
I kicked the dude in the face. Uh, that happened, and I was not on purpose. I went up for like a satellite DDT, and he was like really close and
Uh huh.
smacked the crap out of him. And
Oh,
then I had a ref come up to me and say, "I don't know if you know. Do you know who Jack Vaughn is?
Jack Vaughn.
He does the TikTok
No, no.
videos, the thigh slap guy."
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So Jack Vaughn did a video, and he goes, when the indie ref comes up to you, and he's like, "Hey, what do you guys want to do?" Like that happened, and I said, "I want you to count."
I
And
want you to count.
then he started like heel refing me. He was like
Oh, that's
one,
messed
yeah, and then he bought it. It was a long thing. Enough about me. This show is about you, buddy. So so let's do the corny Mount Rushmore, but I do this one with a twist. So it's a
up. Okay,
Mount Rushmore plus one. So you got to think of five. Who's your all
I got
time
you.
top five?
All time top favorites or like status wise or just favorites?
To you, your top five in the game.
I got you. I would. I say I'll always say the same thing. So it's Gorgeous George, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels. I say Cali Man, and then Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect.
Kurt Hennig, man. Whew, so
Oh
good,
yeah.
so good.
Oh yeah. I love Kurt Hennig. I love me some Kurt Hennig.
I can dig it sometimes. It's good.
Oh yeah.
Nowadays it's Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler, that's that guy.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just great.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Dolph Ziggler is great too.
so Florida, how's the wrestling scene out in Florida?
What'd you say?
How's the wrestling scene out in Florida? I know it's pretty crazy.
I love it. There, there's some good companies. One of the best companies I probably worked for here in Florida was WWN Proving Ground. Just the setup of it and everything, how everything is, it's just incredible. New Heights Wrestling, they got a really good setup. I'm the Pride champion there, and they've been doing good. They have a good production, always draw. There's never been a moment that like they didn't draw, maybe around 300. Let's see. Those are my top two. Um, XIW, they got a good thing going. It's more that's more of an adult show, but they got a good thing going for them as well. But there's a tons of good companies in Florida. You just got to find them and make the drive for them.
Yeah, I never got to wrestle in my hometown ever. Uh, one day maybe. I see they do. I'm from like Irvine, California, bro, and they do a. There's literally a show that's 5 minutes up the road. Like, never wasn't there when I lived there. It's terrible.
Was you said it's in California?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I want to. I don't know. I think there's a few places I saw in California I want to go to. I know I definitely want to get on the Chicago scene. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, dude, they got some good. I was just up in Illinois a couple weeks ago. Uh, wasn't a heavy drawing show, but apparently the show before that drew like 400 or 500 people, so it was an off night for them, I guess. But
Oh yeah, right.
I did get to sit down and like chat with Awesome Kong, and that's pretty cool,
Oh
dude.
yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
so I have yet I never put this one in here, but like sometimes So I have yet to. encounter a true piece of crap in the wrestling business, but you're in Florida, so I assume that you've got to encounter one or two in that aspect of it.
Yeah, Florida. It's funny you say that because a lot of people yeah, they do talk about like Florida scene, how it's dying and stuff like that. So yeah, there's people that are like you look at like, how are you? What are you doing, pal? What are you doing in here? Like, and there's just like huge marks just in everywhere, like just huge marks in the back, like type of guys that would be like, kind of get your autograph type of thing. Like, buddy, we got trained by the same guy. So I don't know. It's kind of bad. It's kind of bad. There's a few of them.
You just think about it this way: it's getting like AAA baseball players like signatures. They're like, one of these is gonna hit, and I'll get my money. Like,
Yeah, yeah, that's how I think. But there's a lot of golden gooses though here in Florida that are like ain't known that well, but like they're getting there. There's this guy named Chungus. That dude's incredible, dude. Like be about one of my buddies. We always joke like just say like the MGF promo, how he's like a generational talent. That guy's a generational talent. Let me tell you.
oh, I
But
have been in
there's a lot of good.
I've been in the room with one of those guys before, and you're just like, damn, I hate this place. Like, you get those generational talent guys. It's crazy. You're just like, man, I quit. I quit. This guy's so talented, and
Right?
he's so good. Oh,
Oh yeah.
there's a guy up at EPW who's like that. I'll drop his name because he's a good. Is Marco? That kid. Whew, he's going places, dude. He's going places.
Uh,
So
yeah, that's
you
good. I love that. I just love like I love seeing just like guys are like just they just like it just clicks for them. They just know it. They just know what they're doing. I just love seeing that.
yeah, because you get in there. I I was like, I have no shape should be talking in this fashion, but like, there's nothing worse than wrestling down. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like having to pull everything back a little bit when you're like, I'm ready to
Right.
go. Especially if you made a long drive, like if you made a 9-10 hour drive, and you're like,
Oh yeah.
I got 10 minutes, and then you like look at the card and you're like, and the guy's like, yeah, oh kid, or some old dude, and he's like, yeah, hey kid, it's okay, I'm gonna go smoke 16 cigarettes, I'll come back calling a ring.
Yeah.
I just drove I just drove
Oh
10
yeah.
hours for this.
Oh yeah.
Totally cool with calling to the
There's
ring.
people that like that too. Is that it's never good seeing your opponent's pack match. Never good.
Oh man. What another thing I have, somebody brought it to my attention, and now it starts to bug me, is whenever I see dudes like wearing shirts in the ring. That one just gets to me now.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah. Wrestling shirts. That's a big no-no.
Oh,
Or just like I don't know. I hate seeing people play gimmicks that like it don't fit them. Like you got the most ugliest dude in the building playing a pretty boy gimmick. You got the big old skinny dude, powerhouser, big old just huge dude that wants to be a high flyer. It just don't work out most of the time.
oh, thanks for saying it. Oh man. Okay, so here's a good like you are well traveled as we've discussed already. You got to have a couple good road stories in that bunch there.
Road stories. Yeah. So I was traveling with two guys, and we was on the way to a show in Georgia, and they're from Alabama, and it was a good 2-3 hours, and I fell asleep, and next thing you know, I just like I'm just out. I'm not waking up because I'm like drained. Because I think I worked 3 shows, and that was my third show, so I was already tired and just ready for bed, and I fell asleep. And I wake up like an hour later, and they talk about like they was driving off the road trying to wake me up. Someone they was choking me out with my seatbelt, slapping me, and I just wasn't waking up. And that was just a great road story I like. And I was let's see. Oh, so every time we go to either Tennessee or Mississippi, me and T Gaines, I miss this turn every single time. Like, I don't know what it is about this turn, but I just go past it every single time. It ticks me off. Like I get fight mad when I miss turns because it just sucks because they'll add like 20 minutes onto your time for some reason. So it'll drag when I miss that turn.
Oh, been there. The worst thing is, I remember back
Yeah.
before I got this phone, you would have to like get somewhere and like hopefully it loaded enough of the map because you will go through those crap areas where there's no reception at all, and you're like, oh shit, like was it 10 miles or was it two one
Right.
mile? Like I'm gonna end up 40 miles out of my way. I've done that.
Yeah. And oh yeah.
Speaking of those three
Oh,
day
I
like,
got another.
oh, go 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 go.
Oh, dude, I got a good one. Okay, so I don't know what it is, but like I'm a cop magnet. I just get pulled over for like the most stupidest reasons. And I went to a show in Alabama, or no, we drove back from Georgia, ended up through Alabama, going to Florida, and just somehow, some way, I got pulled over by 5 different cops, 3 different times in 2 different states. So the numbers just don't add up, but it happened. 5 cops, 3 times, 2 different states.
Jesus Christ. I would have been like, see, here's a ticket. Like I already got one from your
Oh,
friend.
but I didn't get no ticket the whole night. I did not get no ticket.
You got lucky. I remember
So
we
that's
got
what's like,
like a
yeah,
we got a stupid roadblock leaving Mississippi. Made no sense. It seemed shady. It seemed pretty shady. There was just like 2 cops on the side of the road with their cars off the road, and then they just like put flashlights up,
right.
and they're like, "Hey," and
Oh
my buddy goes, "This is Jackson Black," and I was like, "Bro, you gave him."
yeah,
Now they're gonna think like I'm
that's
like
what
some guy trying to hide some crap, and they see my license, they're like, "That's not your name," and yes, it is. Like,
worse.
oh yeah, they just gave us our IDs back. He like said his name as a wrestler too. It was funny. He's like, "I'm insane." No, no, you're not. That's not your name. That's like me going around like, "Yeah, I just I'm that." It's crazy. It's crazy. So leads me into this doesn't this is definitely different and not even the same topic. But so if you had the opportunity toe to toe with anybody all time except for Kurt Hennig, who you picking to wrestle?
uh, dang, I would say Ric Flair, but after his last match, I was like, ooh, okay. Let's see. I would probably say MJF, just so like multiple people can look at me. So yeah,
You
definitely
right?
MJF.
That's a smart move. Oh
Yeah,
man, that guy says all the stuff. I did a okay. I did a promo very similar to his Texas promo without the
yeah,
cussing. It's pretty much just held a mirror up to everybody, and I didn't even get booed. They were cheering me. I was like, I hate my life. This makes zero sense right now. Like you guys should not like me. I'm like, I'll smack the McFlurries out of your fat mouth. The whole front row here has one tooth. The only reason your family keeps you around is to open up cans of soup. And they're like, woo! And I was like, looking at these 2 people right here, you have a very shallow gene pool, and I might report you to the authorities. Like, it
think
didn't
about
work.
it.
Nothing
That's
worked.
great.
It's awful. Like, it's cool to be over, but to be over when no one, like, it's not, they're not even paying attention. They're just not even paying attention. They're just like, it's like whenever you see those guys
Yeah.
go out in WWE, I'm almost positive that no one's saying a word. They're just like,
Oh yeah. And it. I know. There's
yeah.
this one time when there's this one time. I'm not gonna say their names because I don't want like anyone getting uh like heat or anything, but they uh they did this promo and they're 2 different color people. It's like one's an African American, one's a white Caucasian, and they're in the ring and the Caucasian dude says race war and like everybody stops and then the dude and then he's like, we're gonna get in our cars and we're gonna race here and then we're gonna start wrestling. And like then everybody just busted out laughing. It was just like a moment like, oh snap, and then it led into like a
Oh,
funny thing.
That's really good. That's really good. I like that. Oh man, I don't know if I. That is pretty good. Okay, now that I'm not working for this trash bag promotion, so this is good. This is stupid good. So I got a gimmick put on me. I am very white. I'm a very white guy from California, right? They made me a fucking ninja.
Oh God.
So they made me a ninja. They gave me I had strap and everything, dude. They put me in an outfit. I am like 190. They put me in a triple XL outfit with shoes that are two sizes too big. And I'm unveiling this for people, and people are gonna be like, "Holy shit! I knew it was him." I hope I don't get canceled because I did the full voice and everything.
Oh Lord.
Like, like you imagine, you know how Oscar gets mad in the ring,
Yeah.
and so I'd be going to the ring like, "Listen, listen,
Dude, perfect.
I know. Been practicing it for 15 years and stuff, doing that dumb voice. Oh,
Oh, that's great.
but always went blind because the mask would move. Like they made
Yeah.
me wear like a mask, like some like tie up thing, and
Yeah.
then this like Unabomber mask, and I get a headlock and it'd be like,
Yeah. You ever heard of a place called Kaiju Big Battle?
what is it?
It's a Kaiju Big Battle.
There was something. Is that a show?
Yeah, it's a show. It's about it's just a bunch of guys like in costumes wrestling like Godzilla and stuff like that. Okay, so it's crazy because I played one of the characters one time. I was Ice Ice Baby, and in it you got superpowers and all that, and they take these cardboard boxes and make them into cities and put them in the ring. So like you're wrestling in a city, and it's like 100 degrees in this building. It was the building that Ring of Honor used to first run in, and we're in there, and then I'm in this match. I'm going against Hail Monkey, and so it's fire versus ice, and it's hot.
Oh,
The mask does not fit me. The suit does not fit me. I just got lucky because nobody else fit the suit, and they was like, "You want the suit?" And to try it on, and I was like, "I'm gonna lie and say it fits me no matter what." But I regretted that because it's on live TV, and then I'm out there. I'm not even looking at my opponent doing stuff, and it just was horrible. I made that look dumb. I was embarrassed, and I got told it looked good, but I know it didn't look good. Like, you always got the people that's like, "That looked really good." Like, buddy, I botched. Like, what do you mean it looked good? It was one of them moments, but it was fun. But I just don't think I ever want to do that again. I should not have lied.
yeah. I was there like, how's that costume fit? And I was like,
Oh yeah, I'm not even looking at the dude while I'm doing it.
and then I did, dude. I got stuck in that thing for like 5 months.
Oh God.
It was 5 solid months, and people were like, "I think I know it's you." And so they had Teddy Long on a show, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna show up in my whole suit thing, but put a mask on so people will know it's me." And then it happened, and then people were like, "We know who that is." And there's like 400 people there, so Teddy comes up to me, and he's like, "Hey, hey," he says "playa" after everything too,
Oh
like
yeah.
for real. So he's like, "Hey, player, we gonna put two masks on you, player, and then you're gonna go to the ring, and then you're gonna fool us all, player." Like,
That's a good.
oh, it was so good. The whole match was. I was blind about a minute in. It was awful. Okay, yeah, it was terrible, terrible, terrible. You've done some fucking fun shit. That's tight. I like it. Oh, so what do you have upcoming in the next couple of weeks?
So the next 2 weeks I got Impact Pro Wrestling, not the famous Impact. I wish just some local company. So I got Impact Pro, and then after that we got Gulf Coast Wrestling, and my opponent for both of them is going to be Quadzilla T Gaines. So I'm excited about it, and it's just going to be they're both going to be great shows. They both got good talents, and so yeah, that's what's coming up for me. And a month after that, I have to look. I'm booked almost every single week, so I'm happy about that as well. So I got a few shows, but those are the two main ones.
Yeah, I remember somebody was like, "Hey, can you come to the show?" And it was like 4 o'clock
Right.
on a Saturday, and I was like, no, I'm not even in the state, bro. Like I can't be there. They're like, oh, okay, just wondering. And then I hit them up, never messaged me back ever again. Definitely in their
Yeah.
feelings.
oh
Definitely in their feelings. It's
yeah, it'd
terrible.
be like that.
Ah, it's terrible. But it, meh, no, it was awful. So we got to tussle a little bit. I wish we would have. We got to run that back again sometime.
Oh yeah, for sure. Which I know we're going to be at APW a lot, so hopefully we will. I mean, we already worked once. They might as well just run a story with it.
Right? I am like trying to give them my time because like I got fired from like a couple of shows for being a ninja. I was like, I don't want to do this crap anymore. And they're like, all right. I got swooped to 2 straps and fired from 3 shows. They're just
Oh
like,
god.
bye. Yeah.
Oh
I was like, it's okay. Bags are heavy anyway, so don't have to carry those around anymore.
right.
Oh man. So we went through training, we went through childhood, we went through what has been your worst match to your thinking?
oh man. Like probably for me, like it was probably my first one. That was my worst, very first one. Other than that, I feel like I've had like you always have like those bad matches where like just things like you're done with it. And you're like that was the worst thing ever. But my worst had to be my first one.
Oh
It
yeah,
was
I totally understand that one.
oh yeah.
I blew my whole comeback. I didn't even get a shot in. I got
Oh
finished immediately. It
man,
was terrible.
I think my first match everything got blown. I didn't even get a. I don't even think we did a shine. I think we just beat the crap out of each other. Like everything was just forgot, and we just well bam bam bam. Thank you, man. We was out of there. It was
So
horrible.
I had to do one of those in training, and I was an amateur wrestler. So it took me like a couple of days to learn how to lock up on the other side, which they're
Yeah.
like, that's not how you lock up, and I was like, this is how I lock up, and they're like, that's wrong, and I was like, all right. So they
Oh
put me
yeah,
in this.
I heard about that. Like, I heard like collegiate wrestlers when they try to transition over to like pro wrestling, like it's legit a
It just
struggle for them.
just takes a little. It takes a little bit of time, and you're just like, and
Yeah.
I throw like now I've evolved it, but I used to just like do shoot fight like straight jujitsu stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna break somebody's damn arm. I can't do this stuff anymore. It's kind of like how they do Ronda Rousey. She does an armbar kind of like this,
Yeah.
because if she's gonna snap that shit, like it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
It's just gonna happen. Oh man. Yes, yes, yes. Back on topic. We did. Oh yes, we went over that. Oh yeah, yeah. That's what I was saying. So I threw. I just literally kept throwing basement drop kicks, like, and it's in front of like Dr. Tom Pritchard, which is I'm just like, God, I need to quit the business. This is terrible. Like looking around, there's like The Rock and Dudley Boys and like everybody on the wall, and I'm just like, there was like no lockup. I was just beating the crap out of them into a corner, like Stone Cold Steve Austin stomps, and then just hitting like drop kicks where my ass is like this far off the ground. Like it was.
right. I know.
So,
I know. My like a few like not even a year in like for first few months into the business. I did this seminar and like after the match, the dude looked at us, at me and the guy, and he was like nothing less than horrendous, and that like hurt my heart. That about made me do it. That's when I like started taking wrestling to the most serious I could ever take it. Like I started studying 10 times as more, started training 10 times as more. From that moment, that was the moment I was like, nah, I ain't never gonna be told that was nothing less than horrendous again.
oof. See, and you're like a throwback. You're kind of like me because you got like people from further back to pick from. You said Gorgeous
Yeah.
George. Love that
Oh
shit.
yeah.
Like good stuff. Like God, what a. I think he might have got lost now, but such a trendsetter. Like it went from him to
Oh,
that. He was good, and then there was that guy in like the '80s, '90s. Oh, what was his name? He used to say, "What I do to you" or something like that. What was that guy's name?
oh, it's funny you said it because it's Adrian Street. I'm actually getting gear inspired by Adrian Street because he the guy that I got trained with, he knew Adrian Street and had his number, and all the Gulf Coast guys in my area uh got to go to Adrian Street's house because he used to live around where I'm living, and everybody from this area got gear made by him and got told stories. Wildcat Wendell Cooley is in this area. All the Fargos, Don Fargo, Bullet Bob Armstrong, Scott Armstrong are all in this area. So like the Gulf Coast, we got where I'm at, we got a lot of Gulf Coast wrestling history.
I
Yeah,
bet a lot of people go. So you're. I assume that people that just don't know that they would just probably say, "Oh, are you at NXT?" Like I bet you
yeah,
hear that often. Like,
yeah. Yeah, there are some people like they ask you where you get trained, and they assume places like that. Yeah,
"Oh, you're in NXT because that's where you are."
yeah.
People are like, "Are you working for Impact?" And I was like, "No, the fuck, I'm not working for. I wish I was working for Impact,
If I
but
was, I want to be somebody.
I was like, I wouldn't be here. I
Yeah,
maybe I would. Like, I know they. I've caught myself in locker rooms that like I'm just like, how the fuck did I get here? Like,
I,
it's wild. I was in one a couple months ago, and it's fucking wild. So sitting right, I'm like, whose shoes are these? Sitting right next to me is Ricky Morton
uh,
with his like Hall of Fame ring on, and then Matt Cross is right there,
that's
and
cool, man.
then Chase Owens is right there, and I was like, what the? How the fuck did I get here? Like, it's crazy.
Uh,
Oh,
we I did a show where we got to wrestle at the Buccaneer Stadium. I got to meet I got to meet Rich Swan, Flip Gordon, Austin Aries, Braun Strowman. What's the girl that used to do what's the girl that used to that does the demon gimmick in WWE? I'm trying to remember her name. Alexis Bliss, I want to say.
Alexa Bliss.
She was
She
there, I
did
believe
the.
so. Yeah, I believe she.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah,
she
it's
was
always
there, and
cool.
it was suck because like she was. I think she was like drinking or something like that. But I asked her, I was like, "What'd you think of my match?" She was like, "Oh, you wrestled." I was like, I was the last match that was on. Like, what do you mean? Did I just wrestle? Oh, that hurt my heart so bad. So I know for a fact when I meet her in real life again, I'm not gonna be nice to her. She ruined a lot. She ruined me.
You ruined,
She hurt my heart.
you ruined, you ruined my day. I've done that a couple times. I
She
love when people give feedback. That's the best part of it. But I'll be like, "Hey, how was the match?" And they're like, "Oh, I didn't watch it. Thanks."
I know. I know Austin Aries. He was backstage shaking people's hands, and I didn't realize. And I'm over there having a conversation. So someone just sticks their hand out, so I just grabbed it, and then I had someone come over there and get on my face, talking about, you just sat down and shook his hand, didn't pay no mind. I'm like, no. I'm like, bro, I was just talking to somebody. And he's like, that was Austin Aries, and I'm like, oh God. And I went over there and apologized to him, and oh, you're good. I didn't even really recognize. I'm like, yeah, I bet you didn't. Hurt. Yeah.
Oh, but you do get some good talent out there. There's so many. I see a lot of my friends are trying to go to Florida and stuff, and they're like, and we talked about Daisy Kill at the show.
Yeah.
Did you see his
Yeah.
Bully Ray thing that he did with Bully Ray?
No, I
So
haven't.
dude, it was like NWA Power, like maybe 2 weeks ago. He gets out there on his ukulele and he's like, Bully Ray. He just starts talking about Bully Ray sucks and like all this. Really good, dude. Oh, check it out. It was really good.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. I worked a match in with a fatal 4-way with him. He's a pretty cool dude. And when we got there, we was pretty much the only two that like kind of like we were the only ones with ideas. Everybody else was like, "What do y'all want to do?" And it was like, "Well, we don't really know." Like that's always one of the worst things to hear. So we kind of like constructed a match together.
I don't do that one. I remember guys when I first like started, they were like, "Oh, well, what things do you want to get in?" And I was like, "Well,
Yeah.
I had like an idea for the opening, and then this little spot, but like whatever you like want to throw in there so we can mesh it together." And they're like, "Oh, you're not new." I was like, "No, not new."
No, no, no.
My worst thing, I don't know. You've been around a bit. The worst thing I encounter is it's only happened literally. It's crazy. I've been a lot of places, but two shows. They came up with a card for like 2 minutes before the show started.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
those
that's
were
not
not
how.
some of my bests. Those
Yeah,
were
those
not the
ain't.
best. Get your shit
Yeah, I
together,
don't.
guys.
I just don't like that because it's just like you can't build a story with that. Like, where are you going with it, type of thing.
See, not a lot of people like that is like I see it all the time, but there's a select few of us. Some people are like spot, 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 boom, 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 and then that's their whole match.
Yeah.
There's no
Build
building the
up.
layers, which is trash. Anyways, okay, so I've kept you for 35 minutes. We'll just go into our last two questions.
Okay.
First one. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
So on my TikTok, you can find me as KK underscore dude, but the two O's are zeros. On Instagram, it's Kelly Klark underscore. All this is spelled with K's. And then on Facebook, just Mr. Personality. And as are all my socials. And my Gmail is officialkellyclark@gmail.com.
Awesome possum. And this one, sometimes people misdo it and sometimes it's good. Okay, so here we go. So at the end of the day, boots are in the ring, right? You're hanging them up. How do you want to be remembered in this business?
I want to be remembered as kind of like how Kurt Hennig and then was remembered, just someone that always was fun to be around, always had a good day, just someone you can enjoy being around inside and outside of the ring. I don't just don't want to be forgotten though. That's for sure. I do want to be remembered, just as someone that was a good person.
See, that's a great answer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jackson Black. This is another entertaining, enthralling episode of the Jackson Black Show with my guest today, Mr. Personality Kelly Clark. Ladies and gentlemen, give a hand. I'm gonna play the outro. Oh, wrong one. This one.